Hey Eagles, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into today's Eagles news and rumor video. We jump in here on Memorial Day on a Monday. Hope you guys are enjoying the day off, and of course remembering why we have the extra day off as well. Let's jump into the latest Eagle news and rumors, because news and rumors never sleeps, and we'll start with more Julio Jones discussion here. And so you're wondering, okay, Thomas, you talked a lot about Julio Jones. You talked a lot about potentially what a Julio Jones trade could possibly look like. Is there actual evidence that the Eagles are looking to trade for Julio Jones? Well, if you believe SI.com, the Eagles have real interest in Julio Jones. They're sniffing around a possible Julio Jones trade, and of course, if you're following the Julio Jones situation right now, you understand what everyone else understands, and that is that most likely Julio Jones gets traded this week. Not just because of the fact that he wants to lead the Falcons, but because the way his contract works, a post-June 1st trade saves Atlanta a lot of money, therefore Atlanta would want to do the deal after June 1st, which of course, it's May 31st right now, which is tomorrow, depending on when you watch this video. So a trade for Julio Jones could come as early as tomorrow. It could be later on this week, but it looks like if it's going to happen, it'll go ahead and be happening in the next couple of days. Now, the report is Atlanta has ridiculous demands for Julio Jones, at least a first-round draft pick. You believe ESPN's Diana Rossini, there were reports saying that teams have already offered a first-round draft pick, and of course with Philadelphia having multiple first-round draft picks up to 3 in 2022, some people are starting to think that the Eagles just sniffing around might actually be some legitimate rumors as to the fact they might make a trade offer for Jones. Now here's that report from SI.com, the first real reporting we've had in terms of actual interest from Philadelphia into Julio Jones. You'll see it on your screen right now. Quote, a pair of sources confirmed also on Saturday, that's yesterday, report earlier this week that Philadelphia is indeed sniffing around the Atlanta Falcons superstar receiver. And if it happens, wouldn't that bring some extra juice for the season opener, which happens to be in Atlanta against the Falcons, end quote. I mean, if he wants to get back at his former team, then going to Philadelphia and playing with Philadelphia week 1 against Atlanta would be a pretty good idea for Julio Jones, right? I think a mock trade is very simple. This is what I think Philadelphia would offer if they wanted to be competitive in terms of what other teams are offering right now based on what we have heard. Just give them one of your potentially 3 first-round draft picks next year, right? I mean, the Eagles have enough cap space. They can move some extra money around if they need a little bit more. Give one of those first-round draft picks, whether it's your own, whether it's the Dolphins, or whether it's the Colts' first-round draft pick for Carson Wentz. If that becomes true, it is very possible that Philadelphia might be able to offer the most out of any football team that's being reported, because a team like the 49ers, who apparently are very interested in Julio Jones, don't have a first-round draft pick in 2022. So you're going to have a second-round draft pick from the 49ers or a first-round draft pick from the Eagles. I think it's pretty simple what Atlanta would like to do. And my question is, does Julio want to be an Eagle? Because you remember during the Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp little phone weird interview on Undisputed, he said he wants to play for a winner. Now, you and I would consider Philadelphia a winning franchise. I mean, I think a lot of people would over the past couple of years, but obviously the past 2 years, they didn't win a lot. So does he want to go to like a team that's going to win right now, an organization that's won a lot in the past? I mean, does he believe in Jalen Hurts? So these are all questions we don't really know the answer to overall. And so my big question here is not necessarily is Philadelphia interested, because that's been answered and that's been sourced by multiple people. It's more of, would Julio Jones welcome a trade to Philadelphia, because he has a lot of leverage here and might just say straight up, I don't want to be an Eagle. And if that's the case, then the Eagles wouldn't do the trade, because then he wouldn't want to actually play for them, right? Does it make sense? So we'll see. Again, probably coming the next couple of days. I'm going to put my probability meter at about a 40%. I'm not going to get very high on the fact that I think that they're going to go ahead and trade for Julio Jones. I think it's going to be San Francisco or the Colts or the Patriots. Those are the teams. The Ravens are being thrown around there right now. A lot of teams are interested, but if he doesn't mind playing in Philadelphia, which is for a first question mark there, and Philadelphia can offer more than anybody else, I mean, technically they have more first-round draft picks, then maybe, just maybe, it could potentially happen. What do you guys think? Where will Julio Jones end up? Really your last chance to comment down below and get your picks in on where he's going to be. If you think he's going to be an Eagle, type Eagles down below. If you think he's going to be, a Colt or a Patriot, wants with Cam Newton, that was the report. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to talk about that. Where will Julio Jones end up? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, thankfully, even if the Eagles do not trade for Julio Jones, they already have a great number 1 wide receiver, at least one we expect to be a great number 1 wide receiver, and that is Devonta Smith. His jersey is still on sale right now, and so, of course, instead of waiting and hoping and praying for a prayer for Julio Jones, get Devonta Smith's jersey right now, chatsports.com/Devonta, and you can get it in men's sizes, ladies' sizes, get it in the midnight green, get it in the white, the black, whatever color you guys want for the Devonta Smith number 6 jersey. It's going to be a packed house at Lincoln Financial Field. I expect to see a lot of these around the stadium. Go ahead and pick yours up right now. Again, chatsports.com/Devonta. The link will be down below in the description box. Okay, so the Eagles have had OTAs over the past couple of days now, and they were really doing a lot last week. And I want to jump into this story here about how everybody. I mean, I'm talking about player after player is coming up and saying that Jalen Hurts is an incredible leader and they are buying 100% into the second-year quarterback. And we've heard a little bit of this pre-NFL draft, but it's good to hear post-NFL draft whenever the team is actually on the field together, as Hurts was on the football field with the rest of his teammates a couple of days ago. And it seems like players are really buying in. So, a couple of people, including Greg Ward, we'll give you his quote here in just 1 second, are just raving about the leadership that Hurts has. But I love the quote from Javon Hargrave. He said that Hurts is a natural-born leader, which is obviously true. I mean, anyone who's followed Jalen Hurts during his career understands that. But the fact that he's already getting all of his teammates to buy in this early on bodes well for his success and the rest of the Eagles' success going into the 2021 NFL season. I think I'm getting ahead of my years right now. Okay, give me the Greg Ward quote here up on your screen. This is some really good stuff. Quote, "I already know what he's going to do. We all know in the locker room, the staff, we all know what he's going to do. I don't think anybody else is giving him the respect that he needs," end quote. So, a couple of things here. One, Hurts is a leader. He's a natural-born leader, and he's proven that many, many times, not just at Alabama, in terms of leading by example, backing up Tua Tagovailoa, even though he thought he was more capable than Tua at times, but then at Oklahoma as well, and even with the third-string practice squad guys in Philadelphia last year. I mean, people like Travis Fulgham were raving about Jalen Hurts in practice because Hurts was his quarterback for practice squad stuff and for second string and third string stuff, and so he had more of a rapport with guys like Greg Ward and Travis Fulgham than some of the other starters, or at least the original starters of Jeffrey and Jackson at that point in the season. The other thing here is the Eagle players know that Hurts is going to be great, and they also know that Hurts is not getting the respect that he deserves up to this point. But I think that they all understand that all it's going to take is a couple of games early on and Philadelphia to upset a couple of teams and Hurts to show off what he's able to do for the entire sports media world to shift and go right back to Jalen Hurts and fall in love with him all over again, as they did when he was at Alabama, and then as they did whenever he was obviously with the Oklahoma Sooners as well. So I love the idea that players are already buying into Jalen Hurts. There's going to be no sort of weird, missing of Carson Wentz. Maybe there's some players on the football team that do miss Carson Wentz. A lot of them were buddies. Lane Johnson was a good buddy of Carson Wentz, but I think we can forget about Wentz pretty quickly here, regardless of how good Wentz potentially could be with the Colts. And I talked about how I think he can be a pretty good player with the Indianapolis Colts. If Jalen Hurts starts to, balling out and winning a lot of football games, it'll be like Carson Wentz who, right? No one's going to be wearing their 11 jerseys to the stadium. It'll all be number one Jalen Hurts stuff. You might see the one taped out and then Hurts put on the back. You never know. But the confidence level in Hurts right now is at an all-time high, and it's just a couple of practices in, a couple of no-pad OTAs in. They're already falling in love with him, and that is good news for us, the fans here in Philadelphia. Now, what's your confidence level in Jalen Hurts right now? Apparently you're hearing from the players it's pretty good. What is your confidence level? Go down below on a scale from 1 to 10 and give me that confidence level right now, as I want to see where you're at. I'm at like an 8 or a 9, but I've seen you be a little bit of a homer for Jalen Hurts. Apparently people tell me on Twitter, it's like, you like Hurts too much, don't know how good he's going to be. Sorry, sue me. I'm just, reporting what they're saying, and people apparently like what they see from Jalen Hurts. So give me your thoughts on your confidence level in Hurts, a scale 1 to 10 down below. Okay, final bit of news here to come out of the first round of Eagle OTA offseason training activities the past couple of days, and that has to do with the fact that Brandon Brooks himself spoke to the media about not only recovering from his torn Achilles last year, which has got some good stuff on that, but also the idea that the Eagles did try to trade him. Like, there was a report earlier this year that Philadelphia was shopping Brandon Brooks, and he was asked about that in his first press conference in a long time in front of Philadelphia media, and he said that, yes, they were trying to shop him, but it's not really going to affect him overall, which I think is kind of interesting in terms of the fact that, players don't normally comment on stuff like this. So the fact that he's like, yeah, they did try to trade me, but doesn't seem butthurt about it is, I think, good news for Eagle fans. Here is Brooks on the trade rumors, quote, "This is a business, man. The second you lose sight of it, the second it gets to you. I get it. It didn't hurt my feelings." He'd later go on to say, "Me and Lane within ourselves, there's no doubt. I think it's more the outside. For example, basically, I've had the back-to-back Achilles tears. I'll be 32 this year, things like that. But I think the biggest thing that everybody is forgetting is I've torn my Achilles before, and when I came back, I was the best, period." So with that said, what tells you it would be any different this time, end quote. Now, a couple of thoughts here. First off, the Eagles need Brooks at 100%. They need the entire offensive line to be healthy for the first time in a long time. They were not healthy last year, and they need Brooks to come back, and like he said, after the first Achilles tear, and be the best right guard in the National Football League. Does he need to be the best at, the right guard position in the NFL? No, but top 5, yes. Because young Jalen Hurts is going to need, 1, holes to run through in terms of the running backs, and 2, protection in the pocket to be able to find the receivers on the outside. So you need Brooks to be healthy. 2, it is weird that they would look to shop him, but I think it was probably more of a draft thought process of how do we get underneath the salary cap, which they actually did a very good job of getting underneath the salary cap, so maybe they panicked a little bit and thought about trying to trade him. I would doubt anyone would offer a lot, even though we think Brooks can come back, and Brooks thinks that he can go ahead and come back, but teams would be a little bit weary with back-to-back Achilles tears. The good news for Philadelphia is that they do have some good backups who got a lot of reps at that spot because he was out the entire year last season. A guy like a Nate Irving or a Jack Driscoll can fill in at right guard, and I think that Philadelphia is in a good spot regardless of what happens, but needing him back at 100% cannot be overstated because he makes the Eagles a lot better, and the Eagles win a lot better whenever he's in there. They win a lot more, I should say, whenever he's in there as the starting right guard. Drop a like for Brandon Brooks being back and healthy. That's huge. The fact that Brandon Brooks is back and healthy. Drop a like down below if you guys are excited to see a totally healthy, hopefully, offensive line. To stay healthy during training camp and during games, please. Looks like we're going to have that at least for the foreseeable future. Drop a like for Brooks being back. All right, before we go ahead and end today's video, again, if Julio Jones trade comes, a Zach Ertz trade comes, either one happens, we'll cover it here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. So go down below and hit that red subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. The way YouTube, because YouTube can be weird sometimes, will actually notify you when we drop a video. So if you don't get our notifications, then you don't know when a video has dropped, and then you miss out on the latest Eagles news and rumors. So go down below, subscribe, and turn on the notifications as well. For Philadelphia Eagles Now, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off the rest of your day.